So I say to all of you assembled on this field today, you are the best trained, you are the bravest, you are the most conditioned, you are the best force America has ever assembled. And I'm just honored and proud to be here today with my wife, Jill. 15 months ago, our country called you to serve in Iraq. For some of you, this was not your first deployment. You arrived in a country that was on the brink of a civil war. You went in the midst of what was an uncertain future for Iraq. And you left. You left 5 or 6 days ago. You left behind a country in which violence is being replaced by progress. Over the course of your deployment, you dealt a serious blow to Al-Qaeda in Iraq by taking the fight to them in the north, by moving out into Anbar province, by taking on the Shia extremists in the south, and by stemming the flow of weapons and foreign fighters along that broad, open, expansive border in Iraq. You helped secure the provisional elections, which I might add, as you'll remember, General, were very much in doubt. Everybody acts now like this was a done deal. This was a certainty. But it was not. It was not. So you made sure those provincial elections took place at the beginning of this year. The first of what will be basically 4 elections in that country. During the Iraqi election of 2005, there were over 300 attacks. During the provincial elections held just 2 months ago, there were 11 attacks in the entire country. You gave them, you and thousands and tens of thousands of others over the period of the last 7 years, you gave the Iraqis a chance, a fighting chance, to reclaim their country and establish a stable government for the first time in God knows how long. A government chosen by their own people, not imposed upon them by a superpower, not imposed upon them by a dictator. Perhaps most importantly, you and your predecessors built the capacity of the Iraqi security forces to a point where the President could announce the drawdown of American combat forces from Iraq. To the men and women of the 18th Airborne Corps, on behalf of a grateful nation, we thank you. Thank you for a job well done. You did more than I suspect you even know. It's amazing to me as I go out into these battle spaces how you just look at it like, this is my job, sir. Mr. Vice President or Senator, this is my job. Like you're showing up at the bakery that morning to make sure the muffins get put out. You're incredible. You're absolutely incredible. But you should know that with the grace of God and the goodwill of the neighbors, as my grandfather used to say, you set a country on a course that may affect the shape of the history of that region for a generation to come. I know we should do this the other way. I know my colleague, Senator Kay Hagan, and my 2 congressional colleagues up there know the way to start off is recognize the brass first. But tell you the truth, you folks coming home are even more important than the brass that are here today. And more important than me and everyone assembled in that reviewing stand. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you could have done your job without the training, the commitment, and the absolute unflinching loyalty of your Lieutenant General Lloyd Austin. The last time I saw General Austin was in Kirkuk. First thing he asked me is getting in out of those helicopters, which I found fascinating. Not, this is what I need, Mr. Vice President. Then I was in interim. I was between being a senator and a vice president. When I was a senator, I had real power. But all kidding aside, I remember the first thing he asked me. He asked me about my son. You didn't ask me about anything else. You asked me about my son. I think that's a reflection of how the General Staff views every one of you that are deployed. You're their sons and daughters. So it's great to have you home, General. And I want to say publicly with the press here so he cannot wiggle out of it. He made a commitment to me that when he got home, that he and his wife Miss Austin, it was a pleasure meeting you, by the way. Thank you. That you would come up to have dinner with my wife Jill and me in my new public housing accommodations. So that was a commitment he made, and I want to let you all know I'm going to hold him to it. We also know that a lot happened over the past 15 months that you haven't been able to share. Your child takes his first step, spoke his first or her first words, had birthday without you, maybe more than one. Things around the house that needed to be done weren't able to be done. Some of you even suffered losses in your family in those 15 months. So folks, we want you to know we genuinely appreciate your families almost as much as what you've done for us. They have been incredible. I know no one in North Carolina is interested in basketball. I know it's only a moderate pastime, but at least you got home in time to see North Carolina win the national championship. And so, folks, your loved ones waited and they prayed and they stood strong in your absence, and they deserve our thanks. So on behalf of all of America, thank you, the families of these deployed soldiers. You are warriors of the first degree. But I know the brave warriors of the 82nd and their families are preparing to answer the call right now. Even though today is a day of celebration and welcoming troops home, let me say in advance to the 82nd Airborne, Godspeed and safe passage. 15 months ago, I understand that you had plane trouble delaying you getting there. Well, I'm glad there is no delay in getting you back home. So let me just say to you all again, on behalf of my wife, me, and First Lady, the President, and the entire nation, a grateful nation, that thank you so much. And may God bless you, and may God protect every troop that's in harm's way. It's been an honor to be with you. Thank you.